This is the HLPR 430 Part 2 Opening Assessment Final Project. I am playing the practitioner for this part, and my brother is playing Tanner, who is the client. Ready?
Yep.
Hi Tanner, welcome to my office. What brings you in today?
I have this new relationship, and I know that I have a few habits that I could change in order to make our relationship work.
Okay, can you fill out this chart with the top things that you could change in order to make your relationship work?
Sure.
Great. Now, if you don't mind, I just want to go over some of the things that you've put down. I see that you've put down managing your money better, want to quit smoking, excessive drinking, get more sleep. Is there one change that you would like to primarily focus on?
Yes, I want to try and focus on quitting smoking.
Do you mind going into more detail about your smoking habit and why you would like to focus on quitting smoking?
I guess I would say I'm an excessive smoker. I smoke about a pack a day, and I know it's bad for me, but I've switched to more natural brands. Picked up smoking with an e-cigarette. I know my girlfriend doesn't like the smell of cigarettes, and I wanted to make her happy, but I also know it would be better for my health if I were to quit.
Have you had any previous attempts to quit smoking? If so, what parts of them did you find to be most successful?
I've tried to quit a few times. Each time I ended up falling back to smoking. I guess the most successful part of those attempts might have been the first week when I was really motivated to quit, but then I lost the motivation after that. All of my friends are smokers, and when we go out, they all go out to smoke, and I don't want to be the only one sitting at the table.
Well, Tanner, if you could rate your readiness to quit smoking on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not ready to smoke and 10 being ready to smoke, how would you rate yourself?
I feel I'd put myself at about a 6.
Why would you rate yourself at a 6 and not higher?
I know that smoking is bad for me. I know quitting can reduce my risk for heart disease and lung cancer. I'll smell better, that's for sure, and I'm sure I can save money by kicking my habit. My girlfriend isn't a smoker, and she usually comes out with me on the weekends, so I wouldn't be sitting alone at the table. However, smoking is my stress reliever, and it's a huge part of my social life when I hang out with my buddies.
It sounds like you are familiar with some of the benefits of quitting and have thought about how smoking affects people around you, but more importantly, that you seem like you want to take the next step to quit smoking.
Thanks.
Now, Tanner, just to summarize what we've gone over in this session, you have talked about that you want to focus on quitting smoking, and you've rated yourself a 6 out of 10 on a readiness scale. Also, you know some of the risks correlated with being a smoker and want to make a change to improve the relationship you have with your girlfriend. Did I miss anything else that we talked about?
Yep, that sounds like it all.
Okay, great. The next time we meet, we can discuss ways to overcome the triggers or barriers that you may need to overcome this process of change. We can also set up a reasonable goal for you.
Sounds good.
This is HLPR 430 Part 3 Behavior Change Planning. Go ahead and go.
Welcome back, Tanner. How are you doing?
I'm doing alright, thanks.
Since last session, you decided that you wanted to try to quit smoking. I thought that we could go over some of the barriers that you'll face during this change. How about you tell me when you usually smoke throughout the day?
Sure, I usually smoke after breakfast at work. I take several smoke breaks, and it's usually after big rushes or when one of my coworkers is being difficult. After dinner, I tend to go out for a smoke, and when I'm in the car, I usually feel like I need a cigarette. When I go out with my friends or hang out with them, I'll usually have a few cigarettes and a bunch of drinks.
What it sounds like is that most of the times you want to smoke are caused by what we would call quick triggers. These triggers primarily occur when you are stressed or out or in the moment, and you do have some slow triggers which are caused by your routine to smoke.
Okay, so how do I go about not setting off these triggers?
Since we've identified some of the triggers, we can start with figuring out the benefits and costs of smoking. What would you say would be a benefit of smoking?
I guess a benefit of smoking would be a way of dealing with stress, and it's what my friends and I do when we hang out.
So you find that smoking gives you a chance to relieve stress and spend time with your friends. What are some of the concerns you have if you continue to smoke?
Concerns? Well, first, I don't think my girlfriend would want to stay with me much longer. I know that I probably wouldn't live as long as I could, and I could develop heart disease or lung cancer if I didn't quit. I also feel like I don't have as much money to spend since I'm spending most of it on buying packs of cigarettes.
Now that you've listed some of the benefits and costs of continuing to smoke, let's take a look on the other hand. If you were to stop smoking, what would be some of the benefits you would see?
I'd probably have better breath, be able to run a little bit longer, not have to spend so much time outside in bad weather. I'd probably have more money to spend on other things too. I know my parents and girlfriend would appreciate the time I spend with them over the time spent outside.
It sounds like you've really thought about the benefits of quitting. Have you thought about some of the concerns you'd have if you were to stop smoking?
I have.
Do you mind sharing with what some of those concerns you may have are?
Sure, I guess I feel like some of my friends would find it more difficult to hang out with me. I feel like the craving to smoke would be constant. I feel like I would be more cranky too. Plus, I wouldn't want to use all the different quitting methods because the cost of those would be higher than the cost of actually buying a pack of cigarettes.
So what you're saying is that your concerns to quit are based that your friends won't want to be around you. You'd be in a bad mood most of the time, and spending the money on quitting methods would be more expensive than continuing to smoke.
Right. I don't want to spend more money than I'm spending now.
Well, now that we know some of your triggers and how smoking affects you, we can begin to set up a plan to get you into a healthier place. So let's start with coming up with a reasonable goal that you can accomplish. But first, Tanner, how confident do you feel that you could follow through with this plan we come up with? 1 being not confident and 10 being incredibly confident.
Well, probably about a 9.
That's great to know that you're very confident about changing your smoking habit. Now, in your initial report, you said that you smoke about a pack a day. A good goal would be to limit yourself to 4 cigarettes a day for 25 days. Does that sound reasonable short-term goal to you?
It'll be difficult, but I know that I can do it.
Now that we have a goal, now on this sheet here, write down some of the barriers you think you may face in order to reach your goals.
Okay.
So let's go over those barriers. I see you listed peer pressure, cravings, and stressful situations. For peer pressure, other people have found that having a social support system that doesn't smoke or is trying to quit smoking helps with the pressure from people who do smoke. Do you have someone who could help be your social support who doesn't smoke or is trying to quit as well?
Yeah, my parents and my girlfriend don't smoke.
Great. What are some ways that you could fend off the cravings of nicotine?
Well, I have this vapor cigarette. I know that it will help with the nicotine craving, but I'm not sure about how to deal with, holding the cigarette.
Most people who try to quit smoking find that nicotine is the hardest part of giving up, but the motion of smoking only stays around for a few days. Having a plan or a vapor cigarette is like having an alternative method to smoking. Using the vapor cigarette can also be helpful in stressful situations, but you shouldn't rely on that to be your coping method for stress. Let's come up with some steps for you to take in order for you to reach your ultimate goal.
Sounds good to me.
How about we list 3 steps you can take to quitting smoking? The first being cutting down on the amount of cigarettes you smoke.
The second would probably be not buying any cigarettes and just using the vapor cigarette. And then the next step after that may be changing the levels of nicotine in the vapor that I use, which is at 8 now, so I would eventually want to get down to maybe 1 or not even using it at all.
Those are 2 very good steps toward reaching your ultimate goal. I think we've made great progress today, and I want to summarize what we've gone over. So you are incredibly confident in committing to the program we've come up with. You're going to cut down your cigarettes from a pack to 4 cigarettes for 25 days. In order to fight off cravings, you'll refer back to your sheet that has listed tips you need to fend off cravings. You also have a support system that can help you accomplish your goals and keep you accountable. Also, you've come up with the last couple of steps you need to take in order to quit smoking, which are not buying cigarettes and lowering your nicotine level in the vapor cigarette. Is that correct?
Sounds like it.
Well, Tanner, I hope to see you back in 25 days to see how you're coming along. If you need any help, resources, or pointers between now and then, feel free to come back in or call.
Thank you.